Fantastic. Everything seems to be working perfectly. I'm super happy to see everybody here. Can you hear me and can you see? If you can hear me and if you can see me, you can just make your thumbs up and then I know that. Okay, amazing, fantastic. So then we're all good and we're all set. So, who is excited for this topic to understand how to find your soul's purpose in 90 minutes or less? Who wanna know more about that? Yeah? And this is what we're going to be covering today. We are going to be covering like how do we actually find our purpose? And even more important, I want to say like we want to understand why do we want to find our purpose? What does life feel like when we know our purpose? And what does it feel when we don't know our purpose? And what do we do when we actually find our purpose? So we are going to be covering all of that. And I'm also going to be answering some of your questions. I'm not sure if anybody is live right now who had questions, but at least everybody who has had questions, you will be able to watch them later on. So I will dive into them as well so that you get an understanding of if you would ever choose to work in my program. I have a program called Unleash Your Inner Freedom program. And there were some questions about that and related to the soul's purpose bits. I'm going to be covering that. So we will get a lot of questions answered today. If we have not met before, I see familiar faces and I see new faces. And if we have not met before, my name is Linda. I am the founder of the Facebook group that you're all in called Escape the Rat Race with not a powerful, but a purposeful laptop lifestyle. And the reason why I chose to call it a purposeful laptop lifestyle is, first of all, for me, the laptop lifestyle, it is a symbol for having freedom. You feel that you want freedom in your life, freedom to choose from where you work and how much you earn. You feel like you want that. Fantastic. And this is what I meant when I'm calling it a laptop lifestyle. Because for me, the laptop lifestyle just means that we are able to be free. And for me, freedom has always been my number one thing in life. I always knew. If you have heard maybe the last live training we did last week, I was talking so much about this feeling that I wanted freedom in my life. I never felt that I belonged in a normal workspace. I never felt like I belonged in school and together with normal people. And I know that so many of the women who are drawn to my work, they feel the same, that they don't really belong. They don't really fit in with normal people. But the beautiful thing is that when we start to understand more about our soul and who we truly are, we tend to connect with other women and men as well. We tend to connect with other people, humans here on the planet, who are having the same kind of soul essence as we are having. And once we start to connect with those people, we feel an amazing feeling of belonging. I know for Sofia Hadefeld, you were in, I've only had one live event, like physical live event. We had it in Stockholm. It was about a year ago. It was amazing. It was women from all over different places in Sweden that was driving there or taking the train there to attend that live event. It was absolutely beautiful. And because I felt that was also for me the first time I met anybody in person, because I've been meeting all these different amazing women only online before. So it was really, really amazing to see everybody in reality. For Sofia, you can just nod if you agree with this, but would you say that meeting these women in person and really get an understanding of who they are, like hearing their stories, would you say that you felt a kind of belonging with these women? Yeah, fantastic. I really felt that as well. And I think that was one of the biggest things that's so, like, I would say like almost everyone who were there, they said to me afterwards, like, the training and everything that we did, it was awesome. But the almost even better thing was to actually feel that we were connected, that we have met people who are the same kind of essence as ourselves. Because many times when we are here on earth, if we are a sensitive like, who has ever felt that you are a sensitive soul or a sensitive person? Have you ever felt that? Fantastic. So I see many hands. And this is the thing. For us who have come, like, I'm going to talk from my beliefs. So I'm not saying that because we're talking spirituality, we're talking about the soul. I can't say that anything is fact. Like, you are free to make up your own beliefs. You're free to choose anything you want. I'm just going to share from my perspective. My perspective is that many times we are very, very sensitive souls. We have come here to planet Earth with beautiful, amazing gifts. And many times, when I started my work in this field, which was 2016, I had no idea that I was going to end up helping people to find their purpose. But I don't believe in accidents, but I accidentally jumped into it. Because what happened for me, many of you have heard my story, I went through 2 big struggles in my life. First of all, I had a massive struggle of not being able to make money. Like, whenever I was moving away from my parents' home when I was 19, I moved to London. And I lived there for a while, and then I moved back to Sweden. I had a massive struggle of making money, and I just knew that I would do anything to not be in a regular job, meaning that I always had to just survive, like, month to month, making like small different jobs, because at least that was better than having a regular job and feel super, super stuck and not feeling that I belong in a workspace. But I had this constant struggle of making money, and every month I felt this stress when it came to paying my bills. And then the next big issue kicked in my life, which was infertility. So my ex-husband and I, we started 2012 when we got married, and we started to try for a baby, and it didn't work. And 4 years into that, I was so triggered. I was so filled with pain, but because I couldn't make money and I couldn't get pregnant. And they were 2 quite major things in my life, I would say, as you can imagine. And it really triggered me to look for answers. So I had been looking for answers, like how to make money, for many years. And I had tested different business opportunities and stuff like that. And some people come in to Escape the Rat Race Facebook group, and they ask me, Linda, is this like a business model, or what is it that you offer? And no, this is definitely not a business model, which I'm going to go into. I'm going to explain everything to you, why it is so important with the purpose, and how everything has to do with everything. Or making money, everything is tied together. Because I tried many different business models, and I couldn't get anything to work. It was just a constant struggle. Anything I tested, constant struggle. At one point, I tried to write a book. I talked about this in the live last week, and my computer broke down when I was going to do that. After like 2 days, I had booked a 2-week trip to Greece, and I was going to write my book, and my computer broke down from sun damages after like 1 or 2 days, and I couldn't write it. So, hey, Monica, welcome. So there were just so many different things that just felt like this massive struggle. But then thanks to the infertility that triggered me to look for deeper answers, everything started to change for me. So I found that we actually have a subconscious mind. Who here is aware that we have something called a subconscious mind? You can raise your hand. Amazing. You are now much further than I was when I started my journey. I had no idea. I didn't know what the subconscious mind was at all. I just knew that everything seemed to be working against me in my life. But a powerful thing was when I heard that, we have a subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind can be linked to fertility. We're not here to talk about fertility. We're here to talk about the life purpose. But this is my story, and I want you to know this because it makes sense, everything. So the doctors, they had figured out that I didn't have a working ovulation. They didn't understand why, but they said, like, the only thing we can do is to give you hormones, and we can do IVF. For me, that was the first time I listened to this screaming voice. Like, I felt something within me saying like, don't do it, don't do it. It's not right. It literally felt that I was going to rape my own body if I would do IVF. That was my feeling for me personally on my journey. Today, I know why. Because I wasn't meant to get pregnant in that life I was living. I was meant to wake up. So I Googled. I spent so much time on Google trying to find answers. How many of you have been spending many hours on Google or YouTube trying to find answers to the issues that you are going through in your life? Okay, amazing. What a group of women. Fantastic. Okay, so you have that drive within. And this is because you know that something is pulling you forward. So I'm not going to say pushing you forward, because pushing you forward would mean that something is behind you. But it's more, at least for me, let me know if this makes sense to you. It's almost like something is pulling you forward. So it's almost like something is ahead of you, and it's just like pulling you, like, come here, come here, come here. Can you relate to that feeling? Fantastic. And it's, for me, it's always being connected to this part. So my chest area, the upper part of my chest. And if it has all the time been feeling like this pull has been from the chest area. And this is also where I felt the massive pressure. So while I felt this pull to move forward, I at the same time felt this massive pressure. I felt like it is hard to breathe. In the life I was living, it was hard to breathe. I felt massive pressure. I felt, like I said before, I didn't belong. I felt it was just hard, and I was so sad. And that is many times, I'm getting sweaty as I'm talking about this, but that is many times how we feel when we are out of alignment with our true purpose. It feels like that pressure. Who can relate to the pressure? Have you ever felt the pressure on your chest? Almost everybody. Almost everybody can relate to that feeling. I had a survey before, so because my whole journey, I will come back to the fertility story because it's important to understand the whole thing, but I started, during many years, I helped women to overcome infertility because I thought that that was what I was meant to be doing. And I had a survey, so before you could, before people could apply to have a call with me, like all of you who will ever book a free call with me, you will also go through a survey. The survey is different now, but it is for me to get an understanding. Who is this person that I will actually have a call with? Does it feel like we are a good fit? So you will get through some answers, or questions rather, and answer them. But in the old survey I had, one of the questions I asked the women who applied to have a free call with me or a consultation, I asked, like, do you feel that you're meant for more than what you're currently living? That was one of the questions. And I would say like 99% of the women, they said, yes, I feel that I'm meant for more. I don't know what that more is, but I know that what I am currently living is not really what I am supposed to be living. So then I started to understand, like, hey, there is a specific type of woman that is drawn to my work. And I know this for like all the questions that you guys have been answering today, already raising your hand. It is because you can, like, you are these type of women, the type of women who know that you have something so much more within yourself, and it's just waiting for you to find it. And that's what you feel, this feeling like it is more. I know I'm meant for more. I know I have so much more potential than what I am currently living. And maybe you can also see it in your outside reality. You see that you probably have a dream of how you want your dream life to look like. But right now, you are not really there. Who can relate to that? Like, would you say that there is kind of a gap between where you have like your dream and where you are right now? Yeah. And in my years of working with all these amazing clients and myself, so I've figured out that the more in alignment we can come with our soul and what our soul is here on planet Earth to do, the faster we can start to manifest the life we want. Because when we are out of alignment with two things, when we're out of alignment with our subconscious mind, and when we're out of alignment with our soul, it's going to be a massive struggle to manifest what we want. So to go back to my story, when the doctors had figured out that I didn't have a proper ovulation, they said that we can do IVF. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then it didn't take long until I actually found who became my first teacher, called Marissa Peer. Some of you may have heard of her. So I found her probably early 2016. It was like something, maybe an article or something on Google. And she said that, well, if you have subconscious fears, this was the first time I ever heard about subconscious mind. She said, if you have subconscious fears, it could be a fear of giving birth. It could be a fear of hospitals. It could be a fear of doctors. It could be a fear of not being a good enough mom. She was like listing all of these different fears. And I was like, that makes so much sense, because I've always been a fearful person. Like, so many things on planet Earth, they scare the heck out of me. And I know that is similar for many of the women who are drawn to my work. They feel the same kind of feeling, like many things on earth are scary. And I was really, really afraid of giving birth. So for me, it made sense. I thought that I was going to die when I would give birth. So when I heard her explanation of, like, if you're trying to get pregnant and you can't right now, it could be because you have a subconscious fear. And I was like, that makes so much sense. So I bought one of her programs and I started to listen to a hypnotic recording for fertility. And within 3 weeks, my ovulation started. So what the doctors have told me, they had to help me with injected hormones. I did by myself, which was kind of unheard of from the doctor's perspective. So this gave me so much confidence. But you know what the coolest thing with this was? When I saw the positive ovulation test, I remember myself thinking, if I can start my own ovulation, what else can I do? This was the turning point in my life. When I saw the ovulation stick and I saw the positive result, and I understood something that I have put into my head have made a physical change in my physical body. So that was the start for me. And then I ended up going to Marissa's training to become a therapist, to teach or to help people with her method. And when I was under the training with Marissa, that was actually the first time I kind of tapped into my soul's gift, I would say. So when I'm talking about our soul's gifts, I would say that is more how we are here to help people, and our purpose is more who are we here to serve, and then the gifts are more related to how are we here to serve them. Does that make sense? So I was trained within her method. But what I also understood, because I was sitting there practicing with one of my classmates, so we were supposed to practice to help each other. And for the first time in my life, I felt that I could just close my eyes, because we had a script that we were supposed to read in order to program this person for the stuff that this person wanted. I felt like I don't need a script. I closed my eyes, I let go of the script, and I just allowed everything to flow through me. And that ended up being a very transformational experience for the person I was helping. So she gave me that feedback that it really transformed her when I was just like following the flow. So that was the first time I tapped in to the gifts, the intuitive gifts that I actually have. Because I didn't and at that time, I didn't even know about the soul. I didn't know that. Maybe I had probably heard the word soul, but I didn't know what the soul was. So that was the start of everything in my journey. And what I've seen and come to understand after that is nothing else but magic. Because over the years now, since 2016, I've been I don't know how many people I've helped, but there are many, there are many, many, many people. And it has evolved so much in how I do stuff. So I've done so many trainings now in different modalities, like so rep transmission therapy with Marissa was my first one, and then I've like learned so many different techniques. So now I've kind of put together like the best of the best that I think, in combination with like just listening to my intuition. How do I need to guide people? So I've called that whole technique now this soul liberation hypnosis, because I see that so many of us, like, I would rather say that we are a soul. So rather saying that we have a soul, I would rather say like we are a soul and we are having this human experience right now. We are inside this physical body. This is why we many times feel trapped and feel this pressure, because we are trapped in a life that maybe is not really the life that our soul wants us to live. So then the next question becomes like, why are we not really living the life that our soul has planned? Does anybody want to have a guess? Do you want to write it in the chat? Why do we not live the life that we as souls have planned? There are really two things that I've seen. First of all, we have the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is really here to block us from living that truth. And when I'm talking about the truth, I'm meaning the soul's truth. The subconscious mind is wired to keep us alive. It is wired to help us to fit into the tribe that we are in. So each one of us are in a tribe, like when we grew up, probably with our parents or if we had other caretakers, but we learned, how do I fit into this tribe? How do I behave? What is acceptable? What is not acceptable? So we were formed into this little square box so that we could fit into the tribe, because that is the main goal of the subconscious mind, just to keep us alive inside the tribe. Whoever felt that when you wanted to do stuff your way as a kid, were you encouraged to do that? Or did people say like, no, come here, do that, do this, do not do that? That is the most common, right? And this is where we got trained. I heard, so I also work with coaches nowadays. All the time I work with coaches because I always want to like reach to the next level of awareness. And I was listening to a talk that one of my boyfriends and my coaches, he was talking about this this elephant, like the elephants that they are having on the circus. And he said like, does anybody ever wonder why the elephant doesn't escape? It just have a little small rope attached to one of his four legs. And he or she, as a grown-up elephant, could easily just walk away from that because the elephant is strong. But the reason why it doesn't walk away is because it is trained from it is a baby elephant. It is chained with cement. I'm not seeing this, but this was how my coach explained it. So apparently the baby elephant is trained. It is stuck with a chain that is stuck in cement. So it is impossible for the elephant to escape. And this is how they train the baby elephant. And very soon it starts to develop this sense of being powerless. It is kind of learned powerlessness and helplessness. And this is exactly the same thing for us as humans. So honey, I'm going to read very soon what you said. This is the same thing for us, that we are trained for this helplessness. We are trained to just fit into this little box. And there are some brave souls out there that are very rebellious. I've never been a rebellious person. I've been a people pleaser my whole life, always trying to be the good girl, always trying to fit in, being super scared if anybody would say I did something wrong, or if I didn't fit in, I would be super, super scared. So, but I know that there are people out there who are rebellious, but just imagine for a rebellious person how much they have actually been able to take from other people, because people are telling like, you are a rebellious person, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that. And just as with the baby elephants, we are trained to just like, you are okay if you stay within this little box. So that is one of the reasons why we are not living and remembering our soul's purpose, because it is like vanished. When we are arriving, are everybody okay with this concept that we are a soul and that we kind of arrive into body? Is that okay? Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I'm talking to the right audience. Fantastic. So when we are coming in to the planet, we remember. But as soon as the subconscious mind kicks in my experience, the subconscious mind, it kicks in already when we are in the womb. There are many times, like sometimes people say like, oh, hypnosis is so scary. No, hypnosis is not scary. When we're using hypnosis, we just want to figure out what is stored in the client's subconscious mind. So in hypnosis, we can take somebody back to have a look at what happened when they were in the womb. And this is why I believe that our subconscious mind starts to kick in already when we are in the womb. It is already starting to form the belief systems that we have, because we, as that little baby inside the womb, we start to feel our mom's feelings. I've had so many clients, and they're going back to when they are in the womb of their mom, and they're saying like, I feel there is this fight going on between my parents, and they are fighting over money. So already the little baby, it is forming this belief that it's never enough money and you should be fighting over money. And so the subconscious mind, it kicks in so early in our life. So it's not weird that we are not living our soul's purpose, because it is basically vanished. It is still there. You feel it inside of you, but this is the whole reason, one of the reasons why we don't remember. The second reason, I'm just going to see, because I'm going to take an example actually from Hania, who is in my Unleash Your Inner Freedom program, because you just wrote in our private, so we have a client only Facebook group, and you just wrote there, I don't know if it was earlier today or if it was yesterday, but I saw it today. You wrote about your experience, and you said that the puzzle pieces are starting to come into place, right? Because you started to see different past lives. And the past lives, if we are just playing with this idea that we are a soul and we have come into this body, we probably also have future lives, and we probably also have past lives. And what we have done lately in the Unleash Your Inner Freedom program is that we have accessed past lives to understand why we are hiding from our soul's gifts in this lifetime. So, Hania, you said in the post that you made in the clients only Facebook group that things started to fall into place for you, right? Is it okay? You can just nod. Is it okay that I share a little bit about what you said? Okay, thank you. So you said that you realized that there were two significant past lives that were related to you not in this lifetime knowing your purpose and your gifts. So you understood that you had a past life where you were using your gifts for the good. And when I'm talking about the gifts, many of us, we have soul's gifts that are like we were healers in past lives. We were healing people. For me, I had a past life where I looked into people's future and helped them that way. And like there were medicine women, but many of us lived during a time where we were called witches. And people were, I see Monica, I see something is happening within you, right? So many of us lived during those times where we were brutally killed from like when we showed our abilities. You were killed. And this is what you realized, Hania, that you had this past life where you were practicing, you were helping people with your gifts, but you were killed. So I can't remember if you said that you were shot in the head or something, they killed you inside your head. And yesterday when we had that session in Unleash Your Inner Freedom program, you started to feel this headache. And this is when we started to talk about maybe this headache could be from a past life. And this is when the past life appeared to you and you realize, okay, I actually had this past life. And then you saw another past life that came after you were killed. And that was a life where you did not use your gifts. You kind of knew that you had gifts, but you chose, because of fear of what happened in a previous life, you chose to just live a normal life, just fitting in with everybody else so that you wouldn't get killed again, right? And now you got to see all of that, and you got to see that in this lifetime, as the beautiful, amazing woman that you are today, you have also been kind of hiding, right? And not really showing up and telling your fullest truth. So thank you for allowing me to share that story, because I think it is so real because this just came up for you yesterday. And also for Sophia Hadefeld, who is also a client in my program, you have had so many realizations of so many different lifetimes that are related to the beautiful gifts that you have. So, Sophia, is it okay if I share a little bit about your background in this life? Thank you. So Sophia, when we met each other in this lifetime, so funny that I say in this lifetime, but I know that we have met each other in so many lifetimes before. So Sophia used to work as a preschool teacher, and you said that that was actually your dream job. But when we started to work together and we started to understand more and more of like, who are you really? Then you start to understand like, well, even though it's my dream job, but maybe it's not really my dream life. If I could choose freely, if I don't have to fit into this box, what do I really want to do? And we started to discover a lot about your purpose. And Sophia has now actually started to help clients from her gifts. And that is truly amazing for me to be able to witness that. Somebody who, did you know that you had spiritual gifts before you met me, or you can just nod your head or answer if you want to unmute yourself? You kind of felt that you had some gifts, right? But had you used them before? Maybe a little bit, maybe not so much. But now you are really helping people with your gifts, which is amazing. So how are you doing this? Does it now make sense? Like, have I answered the questions like, why are we not really living the purpose right now? Do we get that? Fantastic. And do we get why? No, we don't really know why yet. We want to find our purpose. Okay, so I'm going to answer that one. The reason why we want to find our purpose is because as a soul, before we came here, we planned, for many of us, I'm not going to say that this is for everybody, but for many of us, we have lived so many different lives before. And we have come here to have our last life on earth. Not in a scary way, but just in a way like we have had so many lives here. So we're like, I'm coming down for the last time and I'm going to make sure to make this life damn good so that I can be done. Because we know that we have other stuff to do after this life. When you hear this, can anybody relate to that feeling? Like maybe I've actually come here. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so I never know, like, are people going to be scared when I say that? But it seems like you get the feeling. Okay, so if we have free will, we don't have to find our purpose. But if we feel like, hey, I really want to find my purpose, the reason why we want to find our purpose is so that we can turn that frustration into flow. Because at least for me and the experience that I've had with my clients, they have explained it exactly the same way I feel it. Is almost this feeling that each day when we are not living our purpose almost feels like a sort of waste. And I'm not putting any judgment in that, but that is the feeling that I had. It's like I'm wasting time, but I couldn't see what else was I supposed to be doing. And the beautiful thing is that from my understanding now, the reason why we want to find our purpose is because we have come here with a purpose. We have come here with a purpose, and we have come here with gifts. They kind of go together, but they're also a little bit different. So if we are not living our purpose, we will probably never get to access our gifts. And if we have come here to planet Earth to live our purpose and to use our gifts for the greatest good for the planet, and that's really the purpose of this lifetime, if we're not tapping into that, if we don't know what we are supposed to do, then that's going to be feeling quite a frustrated lifetime. But as soon as we start to tap into it, the beautiful thing is that it's never too late. We can decide to find our purpose whenever we feel that, hey, I'm ready to find my purpose. Because when we find our purpose, which is literally, I've never seen anything else. Like everything that I've seen that has to do with the purpose, it is to help other people, to help the planet, or to help other people. We are here to do good. We are here to do so many beautiful things, to help other humans, to help animals. I have one former client. She figured out that her purpose was to help animals, pets, and also horses, and like horses, dogs, cats, to communicate with their owners. That was her. She realized that was her gift, and that was her purpose, to create a better understanding between the pet animals and the humans. But for most of my clients, they realize that their purpose is to help other people, humans. And then there are some other clients that realize that they are here to help the planet, the environment. I have, so I used to work with both men and women in the past, and I have a beautiful male client who, he is also such a, like, what you would call like a sensitive soul, a super beautiful person. And he really realized that he has such a passion and knowledge about the environment and the rainforest. Like he's so good at that. Like whenever he actually flew to Bali, when I lived in Bali, he flew to Bali he lives in a European country. He flew to Bali to come and see me in person, which was amazing. And I remember he took me to dinner there, and he was telling me like all about the rainforest and like the improvements that could be made. And for me, that was so clear. Like he had really come to planet Earth to really help to raise the consciousness of the human race in order to take care of the planet even better. So there are a few cases for people who are here to really help the environment. But most people are here to heal other people, to help other people. And that is what we have been doing in so many different lifetimes. So do we now understand why do we want to find our purpose? Does that make sense? Fantastic. So when we find our purpose, we can really help other people, and we can help the planet, and we can we can help ourselves, and we can help other people, and we can make the world a better place, all at the same time, which I find is absolutely amazing. So how do we do that? I was like, how do I even describe this? For me, it has become normal now. So what the process looks like, there is a chapter inside my program. My program is called Unleash Your Inner Freedom program. And there is a chapter in there. There is one chapter where we are accessing the purpose, and there is one chapter where we are accessing the gifts. So what we do is that I guide the clients who are on the program. So everything happens within 90 minutes, as I said. I'm guiding my clients into a really, really, really relaxed state of the mind. And then I'm guiding them to connect with their soul and to literally see their whole purpose, to understand why have I been going through the stuff that I have been going through in my life. Because many times, all the stuff that you have been through, mainly the struggles that you have been through in your life, was planned by your soul even before you came to planet Earth. It is a part of your story. It is part of your message. It is a part of your soul's purpose. So we get to access that. And when we have access to that, we also want to understand, which we're doing in another lesson inside your Unleash Your Inner Freedom program. We want to understand what gifts do I have? Because as I said in the beginning, the purpose is more the understanding of why have I come to earth? Like, why have I come to earth? What am I here to do? Like, for me, I know now that my purpose is to inspire women to understand that it doesn't matter if we have been struggling with money and the freedom issue in our whole lives. It doesn't matter. We can go from that to actually create our dream life where we have the money that we want to have, where we have the freedom that we want to have. So that is part of my purpose, to really inspire, to walk that path myself, and to bring people along with me, to bring women who feel like that message really resonate with me. So that's part of my purpose. And then we want to understand, like, okay, but what are the gifts? So if I now know, who of you would say that you have gone through tough times in your life, struggles? Everybody. And what if those struggles were actually your asset? What if they are a part of the journey that you have planned as a soul, so that you could help other women or men, other humans, other people to go through that as well? Because each one of us, we have a uniqueness in how we have experienced the traumas, the stuff that we have been through in our life. Like, nobody can share that the way you can share it. And when you understand, like, okay, so all the struggles that I've been through, how are they connected with my purpose, and how is that an asset? Like, you can start to understand. It's like you're making a puzzle, like Hania said, like you start to see all the puzzle pieces are starting to be formed into this beautiful, big image, so that you actually can see and understand, okay, what am I here to do? And then the next thing is that we want to be able to access the gifts that we have arrived with. And that is what we did yesterday, that I recorded for future clients also in the Unleash Your Inner Freedom program. We did that yesterday to really tap into the gifts that each one of us have. Because each one of us, we have the gifts like that we have been practicing in so many different lifetimes. And this, when we can understand what is my purpose and how do I use my gifts, like what are my gifts and how do I actually use them? The gifts, as I said before, it oftentimes has to do with some form of healing, intuitive gifts, or creating like herbal medicines and stuff like that. It's so many different gifts that each one of us have access to, and we can really download it. We don't need outside training to do this. We can actually access it. And that is what we did yesterday. As I said, that is now recorded for future clients coming into the program. So Hania and Sophia, you were there yesterday. Would you say that that was powerful, what we did yesterday? Really powerful, right? It was super powerful for me as well, because as I'm guiding these sessions, I am being guided to what is needed for this amazing group of women right now. So that was super, super powerful. And then, so I've received this question from people coming into the free Facebook group, and they said, like, oh, but Linda, what is it really that you teach? Do you teach hypnosis, or what is it that you do? If you're not teaching a business model, do you teach hypnosis? And hypnosis, I've added now to my training to Unleash Your Inner Freedom. I've actually added now the soul liberation hypnosis. So the combination of the most powerful techniques and my like own take on it that are mixed all together, that I put a name on, the soul liberation hypnosis. I do teach that as well. And why did I decide to teach that? It's not for the purpose of the Unleash Your Inner Freedom training being hypnosis training, not at all. But it's just that I saw that so many people who are doing my programs, they understood their their purpose. They understood like, hey, I'm actually here to help people. And they started to understand that they had gifts as well. And then they were like, okay, now I need to go out and learn how to do this. So then people started to sign up for different trainings, like doing coaches trainings, doing RTT trainings, or doing hypnosis trainings. So they were signing up for all, like after they worked with me. So they were signing up for all of these different trainings. And then I understood, I was like, they don't need all of that. So that's why I asked my guidance, and I was like, okay, how can I help my clients even more? And the guidance said, you can just teach them the soul liberation technique, and then everybody who is accessing the Unleash Your Inner Freedom program, they get to see their purpose, understand their full purpose within 90 minutes inside the program. They get to understand their true gifts, like how to really, that uniqueness. And then they're also learning some techniques, the soul liberation hypnosis technique, so that you have something to start with. Because we want to have something to start with. We don't want to wait. I don't want you guys to wait. If you ever decide like, oh, Unleash Your Inner Freedom sounds like a good program for me, I don't want you to have to wait another 2 years until you can start to earn money. Who would like to start to earn money from your soul's purpose? Fast. That is what I want for you too. And that is why I actually have a guarantee in the program. You want to know what the guarantee is? I've not actually even mentioned the guarantee yet. Nobody knows about the guarantee. So you guys will be the first one to know about the guarantee. So the guarantee is that the program, Unleash Your Inner Freedom program, it is a 90-day program. And within that 90 days, you will find your purpose, find your gifts, learn the soul liberation hypnosis. You will have your first paid online client from it within 90 days. How does that sound? Amazing? And the guarantee is that if you, for some reason, would not have your first paid client, if you have done like all the steps and you wouldn't have your first paid client, I will personally jump in and work together with you until you do. Because I want each woman coming onto my program, I want you to feel that amazing, empowered feeling when you have that first client who is finding you, who wants your help, because this client understands that, hey, this woman, she has something that I really want. I really want her help. And when she or he, whoever it is, that person pays you for your service, you see that money coming into your bank account, and you know that that is not really because the soul liberation hypnosis technique, no, it is mainly because of your purpose and the uniqueness of your own gifts. Because that is like your gifts and your purpose, that is what your clients, the people that you are here to serve, they are resonating with your message. That is why they are finding you. And when you have that money coming into your bank account from something that you have created from within yourself, that was always there, you just didn't know how to access it. But once you know how to access it and you help people with it, and then hearing the feedback from that client the day after, 2 days after, and that client is telling you that you literally transformed my life. So you get paid and you transform people's lives. How amazing would that feel? Quite amazing, right? Hey, Ulrika, now I see your face as well. Because it is powerful. It is so powerful. And I know that many women who are finding my work, they are close to burnout in the traditional world, or they are in a burnout already, or they have gone through some other accidents or sicknesses, illnesses, maybe being in hospital very recently because of all this stuff that you have been experiencing in the normal world. But what happens when you start to work in alignment with your soul and with your gifts? Things are going to become very different. One of the biggest things for me, that was actually one of the biggest things that I used to promote back in the days, that I've kind of just taken for granted now, but it's good that I'm being reminded, is that when we are living accordingly to our purpose, and when we are doing that as our work, I don't want to call it work, but let's call it work, because then we understand. We get paid for something that we are good at. What happens? What happens is that we feel a feeling of being fulfilled. We feel, instead of the pressure that we talked about in the beginning of this training, where we used to feel, or maybe some of you are feeling that right now, the pressure on your chest, instead you feel a liberation. You feel light. I know Sophia wrote to me if it was yesterday or some other day, you said you just felt this lightness and you felt so much power. And this is what happens when we are accessing our true work. We wake up in the mornings and we feel powerful. We feel happy. I'm right now in a co-working space, and there are some, like on Mondays, I'm coming in here and some people are like, oh, it's Monday again. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's Monday. It's like my favorite day. I'm so excited. They're like, whoa, what are you on? And I'm like, I'm high on my purpose. I'm high on being able to spread this message. So no, this is not a business model. No, this is not something where you just copy paste. No, this is you finding your uniqueness and then start to help people with that. And I'm giving you also the soul liberation hypnosis technique so that you have something to start with, so that you don't have to go out and take another coaching program or another therapy program, because I believe that you have everything within yourself. Like, that has been my experience this whole time. We have everything within ourselves. Yes, Ulrika, I'm gonna see you wrote something as well. Okay, you have to go. Super nice to see you. Bye. And yeah, so this is what happens when we are really being tapped in to our purpose. And the rest of the, so I said that we are finding the purpose within 90 minutes in the program. We are finding our gifts within 90 minutes in the program. And there are a few more hours where we are going into the soul liberation technique. But except from that, what else is in the program? The rest of the program is rewiring of the subconscious mind. Because as long as the subconscious mind is wired the way it is wired now, and the way it's been wired our whole reality, we are going to have a constant struggle to actually be able to work our soul's work, because it's still going to try to bring us back. Like every time, I know Sophia had that before, we were working so much with your soul and what it's here to do, and then your subconscious mind, it was like, oh, I'm going to make her really tired. So Sophia started to get really, really tired, and you couldn't do anything else but kind of sleep. And this was the subconscious mind kicking in to protect her. And this is normal, a normal part of the process. And this is why, okay, Monica, you can watch the rest of this. So I will put it out as a replay. So this is why we need the rest of the program, which is to reprogram the subconscious mind, to make the subconscious mind come in alignment with understanding that it is safe for us to live our dream life. Because once you go through the online training, once you go through that subconscious rewiring process, then you start to become a master manifester. So not only are you now working with clients, feeling that you are like really living your purpose, but you're also starting to manifest your absolute dream life right here on planet Earth. Who would like to manifest your dream life? All hands up. I love that. Amazing. Okay. Wonderful women. If you feel that what you have heard so far on this live training today. If you feel like this really touched something within myself, I really would like to know more. Could this maybe work for me? Could it maybe it doesn't work for me? Like all these questions that may pop up in your head, send me a text afterwards. If you are interested, we could jump on a call and to see, could the Unleash Your Inner Freedom program be for you? I cannot promise you before I have a chat with you, because it's about like, I want to ask the questions to see like, are we actually a good fit? Because there are some requirements to be able to even apply for the program, because I want to make sure that each one coming onto the program will get awesome results. I want to have awesome results for each woman that is on the program. And also because I have that guarantee, I want to make sure that the right women are coming on, and only the right women. So if you have questions like, could this be for me? Send me a message after this, after you watch it, if you're watching it live or if you're watching it replay. If you're watching a replay, there will probably be a button down below on the page where you could book a free consultation call with me. So first it will come to some questions that you will answer, a survey, and then if the system feels that we are a good match, then we will jump on a free consultation call where we will discuss this and see how could this work for you. Does that sound like a good idea? So that you all can get an understanding. Could this actually be for me? Could this help me? And what would all the practical steps be and everything? Amazing. I truly hope that this call gave you a lot of insights in how to do this, and to really see like, okay, could this be for me? And what does it feel like when I'm in alignment with my soul, and what is actually possible? I truly hope that you all felt that, and that you got excited from all of this. I am excited from all this because it is just so powerful, because life really, really tends to shift drastically when we are in alignment with our soul, with the purpose, with our gifts, and when we are starting to rewire the subconscious mind so that we can start to attract and manifest the life that we really want to live. So with that said, I'm sending you all so much love, and I see you in the next video or in a private conversation. Bye.